Now, let's just jump right on into it. Thursday night, we got Vikings at Rams. I went Vikings minus 6.5. I think the Vikings are still a good team, even though they did lose to the Lions. But the Rams, they look rough. Cooper Kupp, maybe on the trade block. Things aren't looking great there. What do you have, Red?
Yeah, I think the Vikings are probably like a top 6 team in the NFL right now. They lost to the Lions, but the Lions are 1 or 2 probably in the NFL, so I don't put too much weight behind that loss. I'm taking the Vikings minus 9.5.
Interesting. And then we'll jump into the quad box here. We do have both guys back from their little bathroom break. Well done. Chase, we'll go to you first. Who do you have for Vikings at Rams?
I have Vikings minus 2.5.
Gotcha. And then, Hunter, what are your thoughts on that?
Give me the Vikings 2.5, minus 2.5. Sorry.
Interesting. Okay, next game. Jumping into our Sunday slate, we got the Packers at the Jags. I think the Packers are a really good team. I think the Jaguars stink. I've got the Packers minus 13.5. What do you got, Red?
I also have the Packers minus 13.5.
Wow.
Hey,
look at us.
good number.
Look at us.
Good
Yeah,
number.
lucky
Right,
number.
all right,
Good number.
Yeah.
Chase, what do you have here? Do you think that the Packers can win it by 2 touchdowns, or do you have it tighter?
I have it tighter. I went 4.5, a little more conservative.
Dang.
Give me my 5 points.
We got next game up, Cardinals at Dolphins. This one, I think, is Tua coming back this week. Tyreek Hill said
Supposedly.
Tyreek said to
like
start him in fantasy, so that could be big. I did go based on that, and I took the Dolphins minus 2.5. What do you got, Red?
Yeah, I said Dolphins minus 4.5. I'm worried that Tua is not going to be good at quarterback now that he's had his 85th concussion, but who knows? Tyreek said they're going to be good. I'm going to trust Tyreek here. Give me the Dolphins minus 4.5.
Tyreek's a good guy to go with, and obviously we know that Tua will not be wearing the Guardian cap just due to personal decisions. So I don't know how long he'll last, but we do know that his helmet will be lighter. He'll be able to fly around on the field a little bit more. All right, Chase, what's your pick for the Dolphins here?
Similar thought as you guys. Tua's back. Hopefully he plays well. Hopefully he's able to stay in the whole game without suffering another concussion. I got him minus 2.5.
Yes, we do have prayers up for Tua, just for his general health at this point. As
Yeah,
a human.
preemptively.
Yes, we're sending them in advance. Hunter, I've already gotten your word from this, so I'm going to leave that alone.
I was just gonna say, yeah, pray for Tua. You guys didn't trust Bo Brock last week, and Redbone saying he's trusting Tyreek Hill over Bo Brock. So give me the Cardinals minus 2.5.
Riding on the Bo Brock wave, I don't blame you. Next up, we've got one of the dumpster fire games of the week, Jets at Patriots. This one's not going to be fun to watch. I'm not exactly thrilled with my Patriots play this season, but I've got the Jets at 4.5 point favorites here, and Red.
Yeah, I said Jets 3.5. I don't hate the Patriots in this spot just because the Jets are just bad and they're just not good at winning, which is kind of important when you play football.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the Jets minus 3.5. I do think they get it done, but I think it's going to be a little tighter.
I think winning is an important quality. And Chase, your thoughts on the game?
Very similar thoughts. I don't think the Patriots are good at all. I don't think the Jets are great either. So I got a little tighter at 1.5. I just think hopefully that Jets offense starts clicking. Jets defense is bad, but the Patriots offense is not great either. So
Interesting. The books have the Jets at 7-point favorites there. Next up, we've got the Ravens at Browns. As I think that like literally the whole AFC North is just like the next 8 games are 6 interdivisional games. Like they have just a rough stretch of it. I have the Ravens at 13.5 here. The Browns trade away Amari Cooper. Obviously that was last week, but the Ravens I think are still one of the better teams in the league. What do you have here, Red?
Yeah, the Browns are in complete tank mode. They're selling off all their spare parts. I'm going Ravens minus 19.5. I think they just handle them.
That's a big spread. Chase, your thoughts?
I am not as ballsy as you guys, obviously. I keep them a little tighter. Ravens minus 4.5.
Okay. Next up, we got Eagles, Bengals, staying a little bit in the division, keeping a toe in there. I don't know, this is kind of a close one. I thought the Bengals at 2.5. They're kind of getting into that mid to late season, what do you want to call it, like burst after their early season kind of woes. I think that the Eagles are a mediocre team at best, and I think this will be close. Your thoughts, Red?
Yeah, I'm kind of going the same way. I'm going Cincy minus 3.5. I wanted deep down to take the Eagles. I want to say Saquon's going to rush for 150, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Jamar Chase scores 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow rushes for 1. Give me Cincy minus 3.5.
Okay, Chase, your thoughts?
I went back and forth this game a lot. I was having a pretty hard time picking it. I went Eagles minus 1 as a pick 'em. I just think the Bengals defense is bad. I think the Eagles can put up points. Bengals will try to – it'll be close. It'll probably be a close game, but I when it comes down to defenses, Eagles have a better defense in my opinion, and that's about all I got. So.
Well, you're on the right side of the ball. The books have the Eagles at 2.5-point favorites there. Next up, we got Colts at Texans, an interdivisional matchup yet again. AFC South this time. I think the Texans are really good. I do have the Texans as 3.5-point favorites, so not quite as big of a spread as we've seen this week. But I don't know if I believe in the Colts. What do you think, Red?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't believe in the Colts, especially if Joe Flacco's not playing. I don't believe in the Texans as much as some people do. I am taking them -6.5. But I do think that people talk about them like they're a top 5 team in the NFL. They're probably closer to maybe top 10 or 12, somewhere in that range.
Gotcha.
So I'm taking them 6.5, but I don't think they're as good as people think.
I see. And Chase, as we round out this game.
Same thought. I got a -3.5. Just don't trust the Colts at all. Texans are a better team in my opinion.
I think so, and so do the books. Texans -5 is the line. Getting ready to roll. Titans at Lions. This could be a interesting matchup because the Lions are one of the better teams. Titans starting to sell off all their parts. They make a trade, not selling off their, was that a linebacker they traded away or a D lineman? But obviously everybody talked about Hopkins to the Chiefs. We will get into that in just a minute. Don't you worry. I think the Lions are 8.5-point favorites here. Personally, what do you think, Red?
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions -20.5. I think they probably win this game 42-20.
That's our biggest spread we've seen this far. Do not get it twisted. That's a big number. Chase, are you going that high?
Not that high. I got Lions -9.5.
I like it. The books do as well. They got the Lions at 11-point favorites. Well, next up, Falcons at Bucks. Yet another interdivisional matchup as we start to get into these games that matter just a little bit more. Bucks had a few huge losses on Monday Night Football. The Chris Godwin one I talked about, in our shorts. I think he's definitely one of the bigger losses to that team. Obviously, Mike Evans has a huge impact, but I think Godwin is one of those unsung heroes of that team, one of my favorite wide receivers, and it was really unfortunate what happened to him as that game came to a close. That being said, I think that all plays into my pick for the Falcons, -6.5 here. Red, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons -2.5. If they had Mike Evans and they had Chris Godwin, this is, Bucks -6.5, but I'm taking the Falcons -2.5. The Bucks are just too injured.
Okay. Chase, what do you think of those?
I have it pretty close as well. I got it 3.5. Not quite as close, but just right there. Same thought as Redden.
They'll be pretty one-dimensional for sure. The books seem to agree. 2.5-point favorites for the Falcons there. We are all on the same side of the ball, though. Next up, we've got Chase's game of the week. Saints at Chargers. I think the Chargers are 1.5-point favorites here. I think it's going to be a complete crap game either way. It's probably one of those 4 o'clock games. I haven't seen the time, but it'll probably be – those games are always worse for some reason. What do you think of this one, Red?
Yeah, I said Chargers -2.5. Not much to this. Chargers -2.5.
Agreed. Chase?
Same wavelength as Redden. I got him -2.5.
Well, the books have them at 7. Next up, we got Bills at Seahawks. Land animal versus flying bird. I think they fly at least. I've got the Bills at -4.5 here. I think the Bills are definitely solid, but we saw last week, I think the Seahawks performed a lot better than I thought they would, so I gave them some credit in this pick. Your thoughts, Red?
Yeah, I said Bills -6.5. Seahawks, they're just not quite there yet. Bills have Josh Allen. Bills 6.5.
Fair enough. Chase?
I got Bills a little tighter at 1.5. I think Seattle can put up points. I think there's going to be a lot of points put up in this game. Bills just have a better offense, so I think they edge them out.
Okay, Hunter, your thoughts before we dive into what the books say on that?
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those Bills games where they just lose for no reason. So give me the Seahawks 1.5.
I could see the Seahawks winning this game. I really could, but I think it's more probable that the Bills walk away with it. The books have the Bills at 3-point favorites, so just a field goal there. Next up, we got Bears-Commanders. The pick of, what is this, battle of 1 and 2 if Jaden Daniels does play. His rib is injured, questionable to play, whatever the actual designation is. I'm not quite sure, but I want to see him play. I think we would be robbed of a great game if it's not Jaden Daniels, but still, either way, I do, with that even in account, I do have the Commanders at 3.5-point favorites here. What do you think, Red?
Yeah, I unfortunately think Jaden Daniels is not going to play. I do think we're going to be robbed of Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels.
God damn it!
With Jaden Daniels out, I'm going to take the Bears -4.5. I'm not sure who the Commanders' backup quarterback is, but whoever it is, I do not have faith in them.
It's not Jaden Daniels. I know that.
Mariota?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they're pretty similar,
Don't
actually.
trust him. One pick.
Talk about a guy drafted in the 40s. Jesus.
Yeah, literally. Chase, what do you think?
I have been riding the Commanders all year. They've made me a ton of money.
Oh, boss.
God. Dang it!
Keep going. Just keep going.
But I think they're dogs. I'm going to take the Commanders no matter what in this game, whether Jaden plays or not. Mariota played pretty well. Jaden went out early last game, and they still put up 34 or something of that sort. It is against the Panthers, and the Panthers fucking suck. But I like the Commanders. They're a scrappy team. Defense is starting to look a little better, so I got a -2.5.
He is a bit of a similar play style to Jaden Daniels. Obviously, not quite the same caliber. The books are on the other side of the ball. Bears at -3. Hunter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's pretty much just if Jaden Daniels is playing or not, and if he is, Commanders 1.5. If not, Bears 1.5.
Next up, fucking Christ,
fuck Jaden Daniels.
the Chiefs have done it again, and I'm so fucking sick of it. The Chiefs bring in D-Hop. Now, they they go on the road to the Raiders. They're probably going to win this game by fucking 50, but also the Chiefs keep every single game close. I have them at 5.5-point favorites. I do not want to say another goddamn word about this game. What do you think, Red?
Yep, ditto, but I have the Chiefs -8.5. I think that the Raiders are just bad. Chiefs 8.5, and they probably cover that like late on a field goal or something.
Agreed. Chase?
Right there with you. Chiefs like to keep it close. I got them 6.5.
Well, the Chiefs are currently 10-point favorites by the book. I guess they took into account the refs. That's an interesting call there. What do you think, Hunter?
Yeah. I was about to say bump that up to 13.5. I'm pissed off about the D-Hop trade because I already have Mahomes, Pacheco whenever he gets healthy, Xavier Worthy, and Travis Kelce. So now our fantasy is just completely fucked because there's no way everybody can score on the same fucking game unless they're playing the Raiders. So, give me the Chiefs. Let's go -16.5. Fuck it.
Okay, that's a pretty big spread, but not quite up to the 20s like Redden got into earlier. A game that could see 20 points total. We have the Panthers at the Broncos this week. I think I have the Broncos at 2.5-point favorites, but this is not a game I'll be watching. What do you think, Red?
Yeah, I also
a game that
saying
could
Broncos.
see 20 viewers total too. Sorry, continue. Red.
I'm also saying Broncos -2.5. But I think Bo Nix plays well.
Yes.
And I think Bryce Young, people are going to watch this game. Storyline after it is Bryce Young back.
I like the story. I like the storyline predictions that we bring out in this because they're usually pretty accurate. Chase, your thoughts on the game?
Is Bryce Young playing in this game?
Potentially. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
Well,
Dude.
the Panthers
Andy.
look terrible.
There you go, Chase. You almost had it.
Spitting facts. Oh my God, look at him.
Oh.
He's
Shit.
Must be another bathroom break.
he's toast. Yeah, he had to go run to the bathroom real quick. What do you think of that, Hunter?
I just know that both places suck. I know that both teams are not good. I think Bo Nix is going to swamp them. Give me the Broncos to trample over the Panthers at -9.5.
Okay, the books.
Am I back?
Yeah. Chase is back. Chase, did you have anything else to add to the Broncos game?
I don't know what got in there before I cut out, but Panthers bad, Broncos 5.5.
Interesting. The books have them at 10-point favorites. That feels like a lot. I don't know if they'll score that many points.
Yeah, they will.
It's a bold call. Next up, we've got Cowboys at 49ers for our Sunday night football game. What would normally be a classic is probably going to stink this year if we're being completely real. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk injury last week. Debo, I did see a statement right before we went live. I didn't have time to read it. I think he is out of the hospital now. I don't know if he'll be playing or not. And then obviously all the other injuries that are riddling the 49ers. Then you look over at the Cowboys camp. They just fucking stink, period. They are bad. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts any way around that. That bush goes for miles, just like it does in Over the Hedge. I have the 49ers at 2.5 here. I don't know if that's quite enough, but I also don't know if they'll score enough points to cover anything more than that. What do you think, Rhett?
Yeah, I also have the 49ers -2.5.
Okay.
The 49ers are like the most hurt team in football right now, but they need to win this game.
Agreed.
For the rest of their season, so it's kind of like a do or die for them.
Yep.
So I think they're going to go all out for it. I really badly wanted to take the Cowboys, but then I remembered how abysmal the Cowboys are as a franchise, and I was like, nah, we'll stick with the 49ers.
Chase, what do you think of this Sunday night football game?
I actually have the same exact line as you guys at 2.5.
Wow.
Niners. Cowboys are bad. I don't believe in them. This game could be a blowout, but for some reason I have a little gut feeling this could be the Cowboys we're back party, but who knows? I like them 2.5.
I don't know if I agree, but the books certainly do not. The books have 49ers at 4-point favorites. Hunter, what are your thoughts on your hometown Cowboys basically being the laughing stock of the NFL? Excuse me.
Wow, I appreciate that, Marv. I would be upset with you guys, and I would probably be screaming in my mic to the point where you wouldn't even hear me if I did not believe that everything you guys were saying it would be true. There's a lot of hills I'll die on, but the Cowboys being absolute shit and me defending that is not one of those hills. And I think we're absolute shit this year. But like Chase said, we need the we're back week, and there's a reason that the NFL put this in prime time. Even though we're America's team, this will also be
Did not.
America's win. Give me the Cowboys with a no sweat field goal from Brandon Aubrey, 2.5.
The last game of the week, Giants at Steelers. I was very, very surprised by the Steelers' play this weekend. I think if the Russ Wilson Steelers play like they did last week, they win this game handily. The Giants stink. And I actually was very, very surprised by Russ Wilson's play. I thought he put every ball where he needed to, and obviously didn't run as much, but there's still the potential for that calf injury lingering. I've got the Steelers minus 10.5 here. What do you think, Red?
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers minus 8.5. I think we have one more week before Russell Wilson comes back down to earth, and we are like, oh yeah, that's why this guy stinks. But I think we have one more week of Russie looking good, so give me the Steelers minus 8.5.
The thing that I would say is that I think this might be one of Mike Tomlin's big wins, to sort of get towards that, non-losing season. I think that's the only reason that they'll probably win.
With that being said, that wraps up our handicap hour for the week.
Hey, yo!
As this week wraps up, we'll have 3 weeks of data under our belt, and we'll be able to tell you guys, hey, Red, when he's doing this, it's like working well. Hunter doesn't really have as much of a pick. He's not in our database. But we're keeping track of everything.